It is August 11th, and the Boston Celtics are still making legitimate moves. We'll talk about that roster move on today's show, plus a new trade update on what Brad Stevens' next move might be. But first, I challenge Marshall Green, the host over at Knicks Now by Chat Sports, because I'm still pretty salty about losing to the Knicks back in May. I had to get a win over the Knicks and Marshall Green, so we're doing a sub battle in the month of August, and we're currently in the lead, a $171 to 133, but that is not big enough of a lead for me. You know, the Celtics blew a lead to the Knicks in games 1 and 2, so we got to keep those numbers pumping up. If you're a diehard Boston Celtics fan, you want free C's content every single day, go down below and hit that big red sub button right now. What's going on, Green Teamers? You're watching Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and the Boston Celtics officially announced the Chris Boucher signing that they made after trading away Georges Niang to the Utah Jazz and getting back RJ Lewis. Now, this is not the roster move that we're really going to focus on at the beginning of today's show, but we will get back to Chris Boucher and his addition and what it means for the Celtics moving forward in just a little bit. But when they made this move, the trade from Georges Niang to the Jazz, they didn't actually announce this Chris Boucher signing until just a little bit ago. That reason being they had to clear a roster spot to feel comfortable making the move and announcing all of it. They did end up waiving Miles Norris. And also, consequently, with this move, you bring in RJ Lewis, who is a G Leaguer and is a two-way player at this point. And, you know, you have 3 slots open now, but you still had a draft pick that you made in that second round that remained unsigned. So you went out and waived Miles Norris to make room for Chris Boucher, so you didn't have to sign that second round draft pick to a standard NBA deal and fill up the roster. But the Celtics waived Miles Norris here after a lot of people thought that he could have been back with Boston this season after he had really good numbers playing with the Maine Celtics. And, you know, he was kind of underwhelming in Summer League, to be quite honest with you. Shot sub 40% from the field, sub 30% from three-point range, and you know, it just probably didn't encourage the Celtics front office enough to, you know, guarantee him one of these two-way slots over a guy like RJ Lewis in the trade or the 2 second-round picks that they selected in the 2025 NBA draft. He only played in 3 regular season games with Boston, didn't make much of an impact. It was all really garbage time. And good luck to Miles Norris wherever he ends up next. He was undrafted back in 2023. He's hopped around the league. He's hopped overseas. We'll see if he ends up with an NBA roster or at least a G League roster this season, but well wishes to Miles Norris here. Now, here's how the two-way deals sit as it stands today. As I'm recording this video, these are the Celtics two-way deals. We have an open slot here at the top, and then you got Max Scholga, one of the second-round picks, as well as RJ Lewis here, who you acquired in that trade from the Jazz. So now that brings us to this point. Who did the Celtics fill up the open roster slot with? Well, it is the other second-round pick, presumably, Amari Williams here, 56 overall. And, you know, I'm excited about Amari Williams. He didn't get a ton of burn in that Summer League stint, but he has a lot of qualities that I think are conducive to Celtics basketball and the culture and the way that they play offense, right? He can pass tremendously out of the top of the key, out of the short roll as well. I think he's really solid. Plus, he protects the rim at a high level, and he can rebound the heck out of the basketball. So I'm excited to see his development in Boston. He was a 4-year college player, though. It might have even been a 5-year college player, but there is still room for his game to grow as a pro. Let's get back to Chris Boucher a little bit, though, for a second here, because this is the move that is going to be most impactful. When you talk about, you know, acquiring Lewis, or signing Amari Williams, Max Scholga, the other two-way deal as well, like, none of those guys are really going to have a major impact. It would be awesome if they did in year 1, but these are long-term developmental projects that won't even be a part of the Celtics rotation for all 82 games. Chris Boucher absolutely will be a part of the C's rotation for the majority of the season, or at least all of the season leading up until the trade deadline. Who knows what Brad is going to do around February. But this guy coming off of one of his better NBA seasons at age 31, entering his age 32 season now. He's averaged 10 and 5 last year, 36% from three-point range on decent volume. He leads the Raptors, you know, league team history in tons of metrics off of the bench. And now he might have the opportunity to start with Boston potentially. Could be a small ball 5, or also could start next to one of the Celtics' more traditional centers there at the power forward spot. Now, I bring up Boucher here for the most part because we know he can kind of provide. He's not going to be the greatest on defense, but a versatile enough offensive player and rebounder where he's going to command big-time minutes in this Celtics rotation if they want to remain competitive. But an East GM doesn't really feel that they are going to remain competitive in even a wide-open Eastern Conference. He said, Boucher is a really good active player who you can use in stretches. He's always been someone we liked, but as a bench guy, an energy guy. But when you look at what they have right now, that roster is out of whack. No one knows where they're going with this. But the thing about Boucher is he finally gives them an actual NBA player in the front court. They do not have many of those at this point in time. And look, I can't 100% disagree with the anonymous East GM here. I wonder exactly who that was. But Neemias Queta, Luka Garza, both those guys have played less than 1,000 minutes in their NBA career. Amari Williams played less than 150 minutes in the summer league. And you have a guy like Xavier Tillman, who there's a lot of question marks surrounding right now. He says he's 100% healthy and can get back to the player that he was when the Celtics kind of traded for him, or at least the season before that. So we'll see. But again, he's 6'7", super undersized. Going to be playing more minutes for him at the 4 than the 5. A lot of question marks for the Celtics in that front court. And you could argue that Boucher is probably the most NBA ready, most veteran presence, and probably the best overall basketball player that the Celtics can play at that 4 or 5 spot. I do love, though, that Brad Stevens has the league in a pretzel at this point. It seems like he said nobody knows, like that GM says nobody knows what the Celtics are doing. That's a good thing, probably, if Brad Stevens is in the driver's seat of your organization. He's had nothing but good moves so far, and I love that he's been clearing up all this cap this offseason. What's your confidence level in Brad? Let me know down in the comment section. Comment 1 through 100. 100 meaning that he is a basketball god, savant. I never wanted to leave that chair. It's kind of close to where I'm at this point. 1 being we need to fire Brad Stevens. You let me know down in the comment section. Next, we're going to get into a major Celtics trade update here as more moves are going to be coming. Like, I don't think the cost cutting is done for Brad Stevens, and that could all come before the season even begins. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, go down below and get hooked up with this awesome deal. And it's a brand new deal. I couldn't believe I saw this when I went over to chatsports.com/Tatum sale. This is an insane deal, and this is a forever type of shirt. A literal evergreen type of purchase here. And if you don't have a Tatum jersey, go get one today. This link below, chatsports.com/Tatum sale. It's on a massive discount. It's literally like $30. So go down below in that link in the comment section and description of today's video. You don't have to type it out. Made it easy for you guys. Go down below and get yourself some Tatum drip today. Alrighty, an Anfernee Simons trade update here as we are on at August 11th. The second time I'm saying this, we're in the dog days of the offseason. And there's still yet to be an introductory press conference to the media with Anfernee Simons as a Boston Celtic. Now we have a new report on Boston's trade stance with the guard that they brought in the Jrue Holiday trade back in June. Jake Fischer saying this. He said the expectation persists, furthermore, that Boston will continue to invite trade discussion involving Anfernee Simons from now through next season's trade deadline on February 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I wonder who said this on their YouTube show like last week, maybe even the week before. Yes, the Celtics are going to be trying to trade Anfernee Simons, but they're not going out there in desperation mode. They have a lot of time to be able to make a deal happen, and they're going to invite trade clause. They're going to say to the league that, yes, Anfernee Simons is on the trade block, but they're not going to go out there making a bunch of offers and stuff like that. I'm sure that they have already. Like, surely Brad Stevens has already floated offers out to other teams, and the market for Anfernee Simons at this point probably isn't all that great. So they're taking a step back now, and they're saying, all right, we're going to invite trade conversations. We're going to let it come to us. And that, to me, likely means that they're going to start this season with Anfernee Simons. But I do think that now, with this quote coming out, like, we know that Brad Stevens is willing to deal him before the season begins. Like, he's not married to Anfernee Simons, not married to starting the season with Anfernee Simons. I also don't believe that he's going to be, a difference between them making the playoffs or the play-in versus missing it. Like, yes, he's going to provide a lot of scoring, but I don't know. Is he that conducive to winning? I think he can be in this culture, but I think with the signs that we've seen so far, no presser, no introduction, no jersey swaps, no social media posts really just yet outside of the trade being announced. This doesn't feel like it's something that's going to last super long in this league. And it's really because the Celtics can get out of the luxury tax if they end up trading Simons. He's by far their biggest asset that they can move and shave off enough money to where, they're looking at not being a taxpayer anymore. And they can, I guess, get close if they package Sam Hauser and somebody else, but they seem like Sam Hauser is going to have much more of a long-term impact on this team when Tatum comes back rather than Anfernee Simons is, especially given that Simons is on an expiring contract. Yossi Goslin said this. He's a capologist on Twitter. He said, I estimate the Celtics have now reduced roster expenses by $286 million since the start of the offseason by trading Jrue Holiday for Anfernee Simons, Chris Boucher for Georges Niang, and then Georges Niang into the void for nothing. Then they would now clear another $40 million. This is the big point by getting under the luxury tax. And they also would have just much more roster flexibility moving forward. If you are hit by these luxury tax repeater penalties, you're going to get killed down the line in terms of draft picks, in terms of restrictions you can make with trades and signings and what have you. So they want to get out of luxury tax entirely because I don't care what anybody says. This is going to be a gap year. And that's why I am Team Tank with the Boston Celtics in the 2025-26 NBA season. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You can hate me if you want. This roster is not a contender. And even if they had Jason Tatum on the team, yeah, they could maybe make a run in the Eastern Conference, but are they a threat to OKC? Are they a threat to a Houston? Are they a threat to some of the teams at the top of the Western Conference? And even the Knicks, who have gotten a whole heck of a lot better, who you lost to this season, or the Cavs, or the Hawks, who have all improved. Like, I'm not so sure the Celtics with Jason Tatum and then losing all the front court additions and Drew Holiday would even be a top-tier contender in this league. So, to me, getting out of the luxury tax, not seeing those repeater penalties down the line, and then potentially getting a lottery pick, maybe shutting down Jaylen Brown and Derek White when the calendar turns to February, March. And then that's all better to me than getting the 7th seed when there's really no hope for an NBA title. I'm Team Tank, gap year, reload and get ready to contend again when Jason Tatum returns in 2026, 2027. I would like that more than the 7th seed, but I know a lot of Celtics fans would probably feel different. What do you guys think? What would you rather do? Would you earn the 7th seed and probably lose in the first round to one of the top teams in the East, or get a lottery pick in the 2026 draft that could be loaded? Comment below what you guys would rather do. I'm trying to hear what the Celtics fans think. Go down below, comment, but before you go down, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. YouTube.com/CelticsTV. It's 100% free Celtics content every single day. And we're in a sub battle with Knicks now, Marshall Green. We're in the lead right now, but I am not satisfied just yet. We need diehard C's fans to join this channel today. We'll see you guys all in the next one. And as always, let's go C's.